very special one because it is a collaboration with my friend here on YouTube. Her name is Cait. I will have her channel and her video linked down below. It's Faces by Cait B. This girl is bomb at makeup, A. B, she is the most genuine, kind person I have ever interacted with ever in my entire life, and it really comes across in her videos. Her happiness and her kindness are literally contagious. You can just tell through the camera that she's so kind and genuine, and she makes me want to be a more cheery person. So when you're done watching my video, make sure that you click the link in the down bar and it'll take you to her channel. You can go watch her video. And if you are here from Cait's channel, I want to thank you so much for stopping by. I really hope that you subscribe. I hope that you stay a while. I hope you comment. I hope you like. I hope you do all that stuff. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. So we decided to collaborate on some looks inspired by autumn leaves because it is officially that time of year. And I could not be more excited about it. So for my look, I wanted to focus on more burgundy red borderline berry shades, which you can sort of see in my crease here, as well as the cut crease. The sort of shape of it kind of reminds me of a leaf. No? Like, you know? No? Okay. So with all that being said, I really hope that you guys enjoy this look, and if you want to see how I got it, then let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so starting off, I am priming my eyes. Of course, I'm using the Too Faced Shadow Insurance eyeshadow primer, and then I'm going to set that with the Coastal Scents shade in the shade Chamois Nude. Then I'm going to mix together two different colors. One is by Colourpop, it's called Issues, and the other is Light Tangerine by Coastal Scents. And I'm going to buff those in my crease using a Wet n Wild crease brush, just going back and forth, windshield wiper motions as well as circular motions until it's nice and diffused. Now I'm taking Makeup Geek Bitten, and I'm using a bit more of a precise blending brush to add this to my crease as well. Again, going back and forth until it's nice and diffused and blown out. Then I'm mixing Light Tangerine once again, but this time with Makeup Geek Chickadee. Light Tangerine is just a bit more neon, and I'm using the same Wet n Wild blending brush to just sort of blend out the edges of that Bitten shade. Now I'm taking a Colourpop eyeshadow in the shade Cloud 9. It's a beautiful, almost purpley brown. I'm using an even more precise blending brush to pop that in my crease as well. And then to cut my crease, I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer in the shade Light Ivory. And then I'm taking the same Chamois Nude color to set down all of that concealer. Grabbing a little bit more of Cloud 9 on a very precise little brush, and I'm using that to basically sort of further cut the crease. I just want there to be a lot of distinction between the crease shades and the lid shade. Now to highlight my brow bone, I'm using Colourpop Lunch Money. This is a super shock cheek. It's like one of my favorite highlighters of all time. And then I'm just taking my Wet n Wild blending brush again to sort of blend out the edges. Now for liner, I'm using my NYX liquid liner in the shade Extreme Black, but of course. And for mascara, I'm using my Maybelline Lash Sensational, as I always do. For lashes, I'm taking these Pure Pro eyelashes. These are in the style Bombshell. Quickly becoming my all-time favorite lashes. They are so dramatic, so stunning, so wispy. They're beautiful, I love them. Now I'm just peeling off that tape, and as you can see, a little bit of that liquid liner sort of seeped underneath the tape a little bit, so I just grab a cotton swab with some eye makeup remover, and I'm just gonna sharpen that up. Now to tightline, I'm using the Colourpop Creme Gel Liner in the shade Swerve. It's just a plain old black liner. This is gonna help my lashes look a lot fuller. Moving on to the face, I'm priming using the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. I highly recommend this primer. It's super cheap. You can get it on Beautylish. Now I'm just doing a bit of color correcting. This is the NYX HD Concealer in the shade Green. I know you couldn't tell because the writing is completely wiped off. Now I'm using the same Wet n Wild concealer to spot conceal over top of that color correcting. foundation, I'm using the Makeup Forever HD foundation. I believe it's in the shade Y205, but I will have the correct shade listed down below. This foundation has a beautiful finish, but it is very light coverage. That's why I did all of that color correcting and spot concealing and stuff before I went in with the foundation. And for my under eye concealer, I'm using, but of course, Tarte Shape Tape in Fair Beige. To set everything, I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder, and as you can see, I finally hit pan on it. Did not take me long at all. This is in the shade Warm Light, and I'm just pressing that into my skin to set everything down, make sure I don't get all oily and greasy throughout the day. Now to bronze up my skin, I'm using my brand spanking new Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is the first video of mine that you are watching. Do not worry, this is not the first time I've ever tried it. This is actually my second butter bronzer. I am obsessed with it. Then to just do some further contouring, I'm using my NYX contour palette. I'm trying to get more use out of this. Also, I've been contouring with a crease brush lately, which is sort of strange, but it really works if you want that cut cheekbone look. For blush, I'm using my Wet n Wild Color Icon blush in the shade Mellow Wine. And this is a Luxie 640 brush. It's great for super pigmented blushes. For highlight, I'm using my Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in the shade Illuminati. I like to tap off my brush before I go in with this one, just to get some of the chunkier glitters off of the brush. Now to finish up the eyes, I'm taking the same Colourpop highlight in the shade Lunch Money to highlight my inner corner. Now I'm taking the Butter London Wink Eye Pencil in the shade Brown Sugar to line my waterline. And for the lower lash line, I'm going in with Makeup Geek Chickadee. I'm using the same Wet n Wild crease brush, but I'm sort of pinching it to make it just a little bit more precise, and I'm gonna buff that along my lower lash line and then go in with Bitten with a more precise sort of pencil brush, and again, just buff that along my lower lash line, keeping it more towards the outer edge. Now I'm using the same mascara that I use on my top lashes, on my bottom lashes. And for brows, I'm using my CoverGirl Easy Breezy Brow Shape and Define in the shade Rich Brown, just to get rid of that sort of gray tinge to my brows that is bound to happen with all the concealer and foundation and powder and junk that I pile on top of my face. To set my face, I'm using my Colourpop Crystal Setting Spray. This is the Aquamarine version. And for lips, I'm going to go ahead and line them as well as fill them in with the Colourpop Lippy Pencil in the shade Grunge. Very fallish. And I'm gonna top that off with the Dose of Colors Matte Liquid Lipstick in the shade Mood. And that completes this look. Please be sure to check out Cait's channel if you haven't already. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss any future videos of mine, and I will see you guys next time.
In any lounge or club you're part of, sir. Cause I'm from Long Island, I'll take the railroad, L-I-R-R. I'm living this rock star life. Nassau County. Billy Joel one more time. Piano Man. Good night, Saigon. That's a sad one. Cry